in this room.
He pours fuel on every single racist fire.
I was in for a short period of time, and I got better very fast, or I wouldn't be here tonight. And now they say I'm immune.
He did virtually nothing. And then he gets out of the hospital, and he talks about, don't worry, it's all going to be over soon.
I'm going to release them as soon as we can. I want to do it, and it'll show how successful, how great this company is.
He's been saying this for 4 years. Show us. Just show us. Stop playing around.
Let's talk about
North Korea. I'm not a typical politician.
Okay,
that's why I got elected.
Come on, folks.
There was a spike in Florida, and it's now gone. There was a very big spike in Texas. It's now gone. There was a very big spike in Arizona. It's now gone. And there are some spikes and surges in other places. They will soon be gone.
We're about to go into a dark winter. And he has no clear plan, and there's no prospect that there's going to be a vaccine available for the majority of the American people before the middle of next year.
I can tell you from personal experience that I was in the hospital, I had it, and I got better, and I will tell you that I had something that they gave me, a therapeutic, I guess they would call it. Some people could say it was a cure.
Come on. There's not another serious scientist in the world who thinks it's going to be over soon. What I would say is I'm going to shut down the virus, not the country.
But you haven't ruled out more shutdowns.
Do not open bars and do not open gymnasiums. Do not open until you get this under control, under more control. But when you do open, give the people the capacity to be able to open and have the capacity to do it safely.
Putting up plexiglass is unbelievably expensive, and it's not the answer. I mean, you're going to sit there in a cubicle wrapped around with plastic. These are businesses that are dying, Joe. You can't do that to people. You just can't. Take a look at New York and what's happened to my wonderful city for so many years. I loved it. It was vibrant. It's dying. Everyone's leaving New York.
As of tonight, more than 12 million people are out of work. Mr. President, why haven't you been able to get them the help they need? 30 seconds here.
Because Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to approve it. I do.
But you're the president.
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. And that was my first glimpse of Black Lives Matter. I thought it was a terrible thing. I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room. And if you look, with the exception of Abraham Lincoln, possible exception, but the exception of Abraham Lincoln, nobody has done what I've done. Criminal justice reform.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history. Come on. This guy is a dog whistle about as big as a foghorn.
I didn't say I'm Abraham Lincoln. I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community. Why didn't you get it done? You had 8 years with Obama. You know why, Joe? Because you're all talk and no action.
Right.
I ran because of you. Look at China, how filthy it is. Look at Russia. Look at India. I will not sacrifice tens of millions of jobs, thousands and thousands of companies because of the Paris Accord.
Global warming is an existential threat to humanity. We have a moral obligation to deal with it.
I know more about wind than you do. It's extremely expensive, kills all the birds, it's very intermittent, it's got a lot of problems, and they happen to make the windmills in both Germany and China, and the fumes coming up, if you're a believer in carbon emission, the fumes coming up to make these massive windmills is more than anything that we're talking about with natural gas, which is very clean. One other thing.
Find me a scientist
Solar.
said that.
I love it.
I never said I oppose fracking.
You said it on tape.
I did. Show the tape. Put it on your website.
I'll put it on.
I do rule out anti-fracking because the answer, we need other industries to transition to get to ultimately a complete zero emissions by 2025. I would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I will
that's
transition.
A big statement. Because basically what he's saying is he is going to destroy the oil industry. Okay. Will you remember that, Texas? Will you remember that, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma?
Vice President Biden, let me...
I never got any money from Russia.
I have not taken a penny from any foreign source ever in my life. We learned that this president paid 50 times the tax in China, has a secret bank account with China, does business in China, and in fact, is talking about me taking money. I have released all of my tax returns, 22 years. Go look at them. 22 years of my tax return. You have not released a single solitary year of your tax return. What are you hiding?
I'm going to release them as soon as we can. I want to do it, and it'll show how successful, how great this company is. But much more importantly than that, people were saying $750.
He's been saying this for 4 years. Show us. Just show us. Stop playing around. You've been saying for 4 years you're going to release your taxes. Nobody knows it, Mr. President. What they do know is you're not paying your taxes, or you're paying taxes that are so low. When last time he said what he paid, he said, I only pay that little because I'm smart. I know how to game the system. Come on. Come on, folks.
I get treated very badly by the IRS, very unfairly. But we had a deal all done. I have paid millions and millions of dollars, and it's worse than paying. I paid in advance. It's called prepaying your taxes. Okay. They went through everything I had, including my tax returns, and they found absolutely no collusion and nothing wrong. 48 million. I guarantee you, if I spent 1 million on you, Joe, I could find plenty wrong.
The reason why he's bringing up all this malarkey, there's a reason for it. He doesn't want to talk about the substantive issues. It's not about his family and my family. It's about your family. And your family's hurting badly.
If he's elected, the stock market will crash.
Where I come from in Scranton and Claymont, the people don't live off of the stock market. Any country, no matter who it is, that interferes in American elections will pay a price. They will pay a price. And it's been overwhelmingly clear this election, I won't even get into the last one, this election, that Russia has been involved.
There has been nobody tougher to Russia. Between the sanctions, nobody tougher than me on Russia.
What has he done? He's legitimized North Korea. He's talked about his good buddy who's a thug, and he talks about how we're better off.
I have a very good relationship with him. Different kind of a guy, but he probably thinks the same thing about me. We have a different kind of a relationship. We have a very good relationship, and there's no war.
We had a good relationship with Hitler before he, in fact, invaded Europe, the rest of Europe. Come on.
Catch and release is a disaster. They don't come back, Joe. They never come back. Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ, they might come back. Okay. They said, look at these cages. President Trump built them. And then it was determined they were built in 2014. That was him.
Do you have a plan to reunite the kids?
Yes, we're working on it we're trying very hard. But a lot of these kids come out without the parents. They come over through cartels and through coyotes and through gangs.
We did not.
They built the cages. Who built the cages, Joe?
Let's talk about what
we're talking about. Who built the cages, Joe?
Let's talk about what we're talking about. What happened? Their parents were with them. They got separated from their parents. And it makes us a laughing stock and violates every notion of who we are as a nation.
We got rid of a lot of horrible things that they put in and that they lived with. But he had 8 years he was vice president. He did nothing except build cages to keep children in. What I would like to do is a much better health care, much better, will always protect people with pre-existing. So I'd like to terminate Obamacare.
What I'm going to do is pass Obamacare with a public option.
He was there for 47 years. He didn't do it. He was now there as vice president for 8 years, and it's not like it was 25 years ago. It was 3 3/4. It was just a little while ago, right? Less than 4 years ago. He didn't do anything.
The idea that Donald Trump is lecturing me on Social Security and Medicare? Come on.
He tried to get rid of it. He tried to hurt Social Security years ago. Success is going to bring us together. If he gets in, you will have a depression, the likes of which you've never seen. Your 401ks will go to hell, and it'll be a very, very sad day for this country.
I'm an American president. I represent all of you, whether you voted for me or against me. And I'm going to make sure that you're represented. What is on the ballot here is the character of this country. Decency, honor, respect, treating people with dignity, making sure that everyone has an even chance. And I'm going to make sure you get that. You haven't been getting it the last 4 years.